This one?
No, he's singing. No, he's singing. Oh, no, we can sing.
The Kirtaniya, I don't know your name, I haven't met you before.
My name is Aug Prabhu.
So nice to meet you. But your name should be Sweet Throat. Give him a warm round of applause. You know, I don't know much about our speaker tonight, Aug Gadadhar Prabhu. All I know is everyone tells me that he has so many wonderful qualities, and his crowning jewel is humility. And I had to fight to sit him back down over there. And I was just thinking, you know, I'm glad they warned me. I'm so grateful to have you here. Philadelphia is a city of brotherly love, and we like to share affection. So please, as deeply as you can, go deep. Let him feel the warmth of Philadelphia. Give him a warm round of applause. Prabhu, we have a problem. Yeah. Our speaker system is not working properly tonight. And you know, it's really crazy. So we were about to have a breakdown, and I thought Krishna wanted us to be a little more intimate. I'm going to go upstairs and get my hearing aids on. And everybody else is going to get closer. And in that way, if you just speak a little clearer, then we're going to listen in our ears and we're going to try to feel you in our hearts. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I'm very grateful to be here with all of you today. Special gratitude to His Grace Kaivalya Prabhu for inviting me to ISKCON of Philadelphia. And a sincere gratitude also to His Grace Mukta Sangha Prabhu, my very, very dear friend, for inviting me here and hosting me. And also my sincere gratitude to my very dear friend Mani Prabhu and Shikha Mataji and their whole family for hosting us today. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
So let us get started.
Prabhuji, before you speak, can I just say something about you, please, if that's okay? So this is I'll stand up. Aug Gadadhar Prabhu, that I came to know through my father more, and I know my wife and I have his classes on quite often. He teaches Bhakti Vaibhav, and my father takes his classes at Bhakti Vaibhav sometimes as well. So I'll read a little bit about him. His Grace Aug Gadadhar Prabhu is a medical doctor by profession and originally from Maharashtra. He was introduced to Krishna consciousness by His Grace Gauranga Prabhu at in 1998 at the age of 18 years while studying at Grant Medical College and JJ Hospital, Mumbai. He joined ISKCON Chopati and received first and second initiation from His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. When Prabhuji received second initiation, he asked his spiritual master if he had any personal instruction for him. Maharaj asked him to share the sweetness of Krishna consciousness around. He has taken that instruction to heart and is a speaker who is eagerly sought after to speak on Krishna Lila and Gaura Lila. He lives in Georgia with his wife Radha Bhav Mataji, who's also here. She's right here. And also their daughter, her name is Maitali. And also she's also a medical doctor. And then they have a son who wasn't able to join them on this trip, Gopal.
He's in college.
He's in college. He has been serving as the Congregational Director of ISKCON Atlanta since 2018. He's also a Bhakti Vaibhava course teacher and serves a large Bhakti Vriksha in Cumming, Georgia. So once again, let's give him a warm welcome and big round of applause.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for having me here. Let us begin with our auspicious invocation prayers, Mangala Charan. All of us can recite together. Agyānatimirānandasya Jnānāñjana-śalakaya Chakshurumilitam-yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Nishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Radha-kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sarvanavantam Vansajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Vanshakalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vajanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Svite Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanta Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vahancha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
plug it into you. You were working on something right now.
Okay. Krishna Govinda.
Move that away, maybe.
The volume, can you decrease the volume? Yeah.
Or I can even hold it in my hand, the microphone.
Okay.
We don't even need the stand.
Is the head connected? It's connected to that.
Hare Krishna. Is that better? Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I would like to begin by speaking on a verse that I learned from Prabhuji. I met you in New Vrindavan. I think it was 2022. And just outside the temple we met and we were speaking. And you quoted a verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj says that, let me see if I can remember that verse. You said, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janme Teho Puna Mukhya Anga. You quoted this verse saying that Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janme Teho Puna Mukhya Anga. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool, the root cause of the development of Krishna Bhakti in the heart of a jiva is Sadhu Sangha. Is there anyone here, any devotee here who has become a devotee without the association of another devotee? Please raise your hand. It is impossible. Because Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj's words cannot be false. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula, the root cause of development of Krishna Bhakti, Haya Sadhu Sangha. It is association of a devotee. Krishna Prema Janme Teho, and when we reach the platform of Krishna Prem, love for Lord Krishna, love of Godhead, the highest stage, Puna Mukhya Anga, still Sadhu Sangha remains, association of devotees remains a principal limb of our bhakti. Even though we may attain the highest stage of Krishna Prem, love of Godhead, we still need association of devotees. So I'm very grateful that I have the association of all of you today. As I was driving here, I saw a station called NRG station. How many of you are aware of it? Nrig station. NRG. It was right here, 5 minutes from here. So I would like to speak about NRGA. Nriga. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the most ripened fruit of the desired tree of the Vedas. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukhadamrita drava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Nigama means the Vedas. Kalpataru, the Vedas are like a desired tree. Galitam phalam, the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic literature is Srimad Bhagavatam. And Rasik Vaishnavas, nectar seeking devotees like all of you, drink it to their full satisfaction. Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to Shri Krishna. Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarvashraye Pratishloke Pratiyakshare Nana Arthakaye. Krishna Tulya Bhagavat. Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is the literature form of Krishna. Vangmay Swarup of Krishna. When Krishna comes in the form of a book, That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna. And different cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam represent different transcendental bodily parts of Krishna. And the Dasham Skandha, the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, represents what? The beautiful smiling face of Shri Krishna Chandra. So in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the story of a king called Nriga. And the theme for today's discussion would be Dadati Pratigrinati. Srila Rupa Goswami explains in Sri Upadeshamrit, Nectar of Instruction, that there are 6 loving exchanges that we all are supposed to develop with each other. Srila Prabhupada established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Society means where people come together. And when we come together, we interact with each other. So how do we interact with each other? That Srila Rupa Goswami has explained. Dadati pratigrinati guhyam akhyati prichhati bhungate bhojayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. Priti lakshanam means loving characteristics of our dealings are 6-fold. Dadati means to give gifts. Pratigrinati, and you accept those gifts. You give gifts and you accept gifts. Guhyam akhyati, and you share your heart, your mind in confidence with the devotee. And guhyam prichhati, and you also inquire from them submissively. You inquire from them confidentially. Be trusting and be trustworthy. Trust others and also be worth others putting their trust in you. Be trusting and trustworthy. Ask others confidentially and also speak to them confidentially. And then finally, bhungate means you accept food, prasad, Krishna prasad that they offer you, and bhojayate chaiva, and you also offer them Krishna prasad. So receiving gifts, offering gifts, asking questions, answering questions confidentially, and offering prasad and receiving prasad. These are the loving exchanges that devotees in Krishna consciousness share with each other. And these exchanges signify love. When someone gives a gift, it's not just the gift, it's a token of love, token of appreciation, token of gratitude. Prabhuji offered this beautiful prasadi mala, garland that has been offered to Panchatattva and Jagannath. So it's not just a bunch of flowers strung together with a string. It's also a token of blessings that I'm receiving from a superior Vaishnava, disciple of Srila Prabhupada's. So giving gifts, receiving gifts, offering prasad, receiving prasad, asking questions. Deal with devotees. 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam describes that devotees are like fire. Is fire good or is fire bad? What do you think? Can we cook food without fire? No. Philadelphia gets cold. I am from Atlanta. So I don't have much experience, but I heard Philadelphia gets cold. So you need fire to keep warm. But at the same time, fire can be very dangerous and deadly when uncontrolled. California and so many other places, we see what devastation uncontrolled fire, when fire is not controlled, can do. So fire can be dangerous, fire can be extremely life-saving and helpful also. Similarly, devotees of Krishna, they're extremely helpful. At the same time, if not handled properly, the devotees can also be like fire. They can destroy. We shouldn't be scared, but we should be cognizant of the science of dealing with devotees, dealing with each other.
11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna says, my devotees are like fire. Fire can be very good when handled properly. Fire can be extremely dangerous when handled carelessly. Hare Krishna. One day in Dwarka, Krishna's sons like Pradyumna, Samb, and others were playing. After playing a lot, they became thirsty. So they were looking for water and they saw a well. So they approached the well and looked inside for water. But they did not find any water. Instead, they saw a huge lizard. That lizard looked like a little hill inside the well. And the boys were surprised to see such a big lizard living alone inside the well. And they felt pity for the lizard. They thought, let us rescue this lizard. Let's help the lizard come out of the well, because lizard needs to eat some insects or other beings, and inside the well the lizard may not be free to move around, may not be free to find its prey. So they wanted to help the lizard by pulling the lizard out of the well. They tried with their belts, they tried with ropes, but they could not get the lizard out. It was a deep well. What do you do when you want to do something good and you are not able to do it? You approach, huh? You go to your father. Pita aham asya jagata mata dhata pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkara rik sama yajurevacha. The father for everyone is Krishna. Pita aham asya jagatam. Aham bija pradapita. For Samb and Pradyumna, their biological father happened to be Lord Krishna. But for us, whenever we are in difficulty, we should pray to Krishna. Hare Krishna. So they went to Krishna and they told Krishna what they saw. There is a huge lizard. We have never seen such a huge lizard. As they call it, humongous. Humongous is a combination of which two words? Huge and enormous. Humongous. So they told Krishna, there is this huge lizard inside the well. We are not able to get it out. Can you please come? Krishna said yes. Krishna is always ready for adventures. So Krishna came with his children and looked inside the well, and in fact there was a huge lizard inside. But for Krishna it was not difficult. Krishna simply extended his left hand and caught the lizard and very easily pulled the lizard out of the well. As soon as Krishna touched the lizard gave up its lizard body and took a very beautiful form of a demigod, a devata. The complexion was effulgent golden, adorned with beautiful clothes, ornaments, and very beautiful bodily features. Krishna, who knows everything, Abhidnya Swarat, Abhidnya means all-knowing. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyami cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Krishna says, I know everything. Vedaham samatitani. Vartamanani, I know what is going on today. Krishna doesn't need to read any news. He knows what is going on. North, east, west, south, up, down, everything. Krishna knows. Vedaham samadhitani vartamanani cha Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, I know what is going on in the present. Bhavishyami, I know what will happen in the future. Bhutani, I know what happened in the past. I know past, present, future. I know everything. Vedaham samadhitani. But mam tu vedana kaschana. But me no one knows. That is Krishna. So even though Krishna knows everything, to teach us and to teach his children, Krishna asked the lizard, who is now a effulgent, beautiful, handsome demigod, "Sir, who are you? How did you get the body of a lizard, which is a very abominable form of life. How did you end up in this well? It appears that you do not deserve such a fate. So please tell us who you are and how you came to accept a lizard's body. The demigod, who was lizard, spoke to Lord Krishna that, my dear Lord, you know everything. But still, because you are asking, I will speak. My dear Lord Krishna, my name is King Nriga. I am the direct son of Maharaj Ikshvaku, the famous Maharaj Ikshvaku. Remember Bhagavad Gita? Krishna says, I gave knowledge to Vivasvan, the sun god. Vivasvan gave it to his son Vaivasvat Manu. Vaivasvat Manu gave it to Ikshvaku Maharaj, from whom a whole dynasty came, the Surya Vamsha, the solar dynasty, in which later on Lord Ramachandra also appeared. Maharaj Nriga was the son of King Ikshvaku. He said, I was very rich, very aristocratic, and I followed dharma, I followed religion perfectly well. I never committed a sin in my life. I was always giving protection to my citizens, treating them like my own children. I was extremely charitable, and I had firm faith in the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas, according to Varnashram Dharma, are supposed to be the teachers of the Kshatriyas. Maharaj Nriga was a Kshatriya, he was a king. So he had full faith in the religious teachers, the Brahmanas, and he was very charitable. Nriga Maharaj continued, my dear Lord Krishna, you must have heard my name, because whenever they talk about charitable people, my example is always mentioned. I am King Nriga, and I gave in charity as many cows to the pious Brahmanas as there are grains of sand on this planet. I gave as many cows to holy Brahmanas in charity as there are raindrops from a rain cloud. In other words, I gave innumerable cows in charity to the Brahmanas. My dear Krishna, please know that each of this cow was young and healthy. Each of this cow was golden in color. Her horns were decorated with gold plates. Her hooves, 4 hooves, had silver plating. Each cow was decorated with golden necklaces and fine silk cloth, and each cow had a calf. Such beautiful cows and calves I gave to Brahmanas who were very pious, who never broke the religious principles, who knew the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who were very learned in the Holy Scriptures. I would find such Brahmanas and give them millions and millions of cows in charity. My dear Krishna, not only that, whenever a Brahman was looking for a suitable bride, I would find them a suitable bride and get them married at my cost. I have given land, clothes, gold, and gold coins to the Brahmanas. I was very well situated in life. However, one day, the cow of a Dvija Mukhya. Dvija means a Brahman, and Mukhya means a very, very prominent high class Brahman. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary explains what is the meaning of Dvija Mukhya. Dvija Mukhya is that Brahman who has become so exalted in spiritual practice that he has stopped accepting any donation. Otherwise, Brahmanas always accept donations. But this Brahman, Dvija Mukhya, is that exalted Brahman who has ceased to accept any charities anymore because they are completely self-satisfied now. All they do is worship the Lord and read the holy scriptures and teach them for free. Such a Dvija Mukhya, such a exalted Brahman's one cow, somehow by Daiva, by divine arrangement, wandered off and came into my cowshed. King Nriga is saying to Krishna. The cow of a very, very high class Brahman who had given up accepting charity, such a cow came into my cowshed and got mixed up with my cows. That day, as usual, I was donating cows. A second Brahman came and I donated him lots of cows, including this cow who had accidentally wandered into my herd of cows. As the Brahman who received this charity of cows was happily going home with all the cows, the Dvija Mukhya, the Brahman who originally owned that cow, came running and said, hey, that cow, that cow is mine. And the second Brahman said, no, that cow is mine. I just received the cow in charity from King Nriga. The first Brahman said, no sir, that cow is mine. I have raised that cow. I know this cow. This is my cow. Let me have her. And the second Brahman said, no sir, this cow is mine. Let's go and talk to Maharaj Nrig if you don't believe me. I just received these cows in charity. They belong to me. They were arguing and they went to King Nriga. And King Nriga said, what happened? The second Brahman said, Maharaj, you just gave me all these cows in charity, but this Brahman says that this particular cow is his. And the first Brahman said, yes, this is my cow. King Nriga, you stole it from me. What right do you have to give it in charity when it belongs to me? It just wandered off into your cowshed. That doesn't mean it belongs to you. Maharaj Nrig apologized to both the Brahmanas, said, this is an inadvertent mistake. I was not aware about the mix-up. I'm sorry. Like they say, my bad. I will give 100,000 cows to each of you. Cows as good as this cow. 100,000 cows for you. 100,000 cows for you. But please forgive me. I don't want to offend either of you. Please forgive me. It was an innocent mistake. What do you think the Brahmanas said? The Brahman who had received that cow in charity said, it's okay. After all this, I am not interested in receiving any charity from you. You keep all your cows. I never asked you for charity. You gave me charity. And now this, you know what? Just forget it. I don't want anything. I'm going home. So the Brahman who had received the charity went home, not accepting the king's offer of 100,000 cows. What about the first Brahman? He said, well, you already stole my cow, so I don't want it back. And as far as your 100,000 cows are concerned, even if you give me 100,000 cows and then 10,000 more, I don't want anything, because long ago I stopped accepting charity. So I don't want anything. No, but thank you. And he went home. So both the Brahmanas went home, leaving the king with that cow. None of the Brahmanas would accept that cow back because the king had goofed up. So the king was left with that cow, and King Nriga is telling Lord Krishna, this is the only mistake I made in my life, and I tried my best to cover up for my mistake. I offered 100,000 cows to both the Brahmanas, but they would not accept them. In due course of time, I died, as all of us have to. Death is inevitable. After death, I was quite surprised to see Yamdutas. I thought I was going to go to heaven straight. I thought King Indra will come or something. But the Yamdutas came. And they took me to a planet called Samyama, where Lord Yamaraj administers justice to the departed souls. And I was standing in front of Yamaraj, and Yamaraj told me that, my dear King Nriga, you have lived an extraordinary life of piety. You have followed dharma very well, you have been very charitable. So please tell me, usually we don't give this option, but because you are so great, I'm giving you an option. Would you like to face the consequences of your sins first, or would you like to reap the benefits of your piety first? What would you do if you were given that choice? Huh? Sins first, yes. Why? Why so?
Save the best for the last.
That's a good one. Because if we know that we are going to suffer for our sins, how can we enjoy? Might as well suffer first and then enjoy. So yes, King Nriga said, I would like to suffer for my sins first and then enjoy for my pious activities. So Yamaraj said, so be it. As soon as Yamaraj said, Tathastu, so be it, I transformed into a huge, giant lizard and I started falling down on the earth planet. And I fell in this God-forsaken, dry, abandoned well. And I have been here for thousands and thousands of years. But seeing you, my dear Krishna, all my sufferings, all my starvation, all my anxiety, all my lamentation, all my regret, all my guilt is gone. But I am extremely surprised that you yourself have come, O Krishna, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O God of all gods, O infallible Lord. You yourself came to rescue me? I don't think I deserve that. I wasn't that great a king either. So I'm surprised why you yourself have come to rescue me and deliver me. Would you like to know the answer? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary. When King Nriga was the king, one day he met a very great devotee. Remember, we started the class by quoting a verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Janme Teho Puna Mukhya Anga. Sadhu Sangha is most important. King Nriga had Sadhu Sangha. One day, as King Nriga was giving charity to Brahmanas, a pure Vaishnava, a great devotee of Lord Krishna came. And King Nriga said, what do you want? Mukta Sangha Prabhu, what do you want? And Mukta Sangha Prabhu, because pure devotees are called Mukta Sangha, by doing their Sangha, we become Mukta. He said, what do you want? And Mukta Sangha Prabhu said, I love Krishna. I am a devotee of Krishna and it is my desire to build a temple for Krishna. Let there be a temple. Like Srila Prabhupada said. I want to build a temple for Lord Krishna, but I have no money. I am akinchan. I have nothing. King Nriga said, no problem. I will build you a gorgeous temple for your Krishna. And King Nriga gave funds to this pure devotee to build a temple for Lord Krishna. Then King Nriga asked him, what else do you want? Mukta Sangha Prabhu, what else do you want? The devotee said, so many pilgrims will come to the temple. can you give me paper and scribes? I want to make multiple copies of two books, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and I want to distribute them to those who are interested. The king said, all right, I will give you 100 scribes and I will give you unlimited paper. Let them copy, make copies of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and you can distribute them to whoever you like. And King Diriga forgot about it. This was just one day in the life of King Diriga, who ruled earth for so many years. King Diriga had forgotten this, but Lord Krishna had not. Lord Krishna said, do you remember meeting that pure devotee who wanted a temple built? And you gave him money and he was able to build a temple of Lord Krishna in your kingdom. And then you gave him so many papers and scribes to make copies of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam which describe my glories. For that reason alone, today you are able to behold my beautiful form. It was that service to that pure devotee that allowed King Nriga to have face-to-face darshan of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna says, no amount of piety, no amount of obedience to dharma, no amount of charity can give you my darshan. But it was that simple service to that pure devotee that has qualified you to have my darshan today. Haribol. Maharaj Nriga was overwhelmed with love. He touched his head, his helmet, crown, to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Can you imagine what it must be to touch your head to the lotus feet of Shri Krishna? One moment you are a lizard in an abandoned well, and suddenly your good fortune arose. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj wrote a book, or his biography is called When Good Fortune Arises. Hare Krishna. The good fortune had arisen for Maharaj Nriga. He offered obeisances at the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. He circumambulated Shri Krishna and then took permission from Shri Krishna to go to the heavenly planets, not as an ordinary demigod, but as a demigod who had had direct darshan of Shri Krishna and who had Krishna prem in his heart, love for Krishna. He said, now I will go to the heavenly planets and I will sing and preach your glories there. Just like we need preachers here, there are preachers in the heavenly planets also. Like Nalakuver and Manigiri, they also went back to heaven to preach about Krishna. So similarly, Maharaj Nriga, he became a demigod and he went to the heavenly planets. So this is a very important principle, my dear friends, that Krishna told when Nriga Maharaj went back to the heavenly planets as a pure devotee. Lord Krishna told his children, Pradyumna, Samb and others, that my dear children, my dear Dwarkavasis, there were other friends also playing. Please remember that we should never take the wealth of others, especially the Brahmanas. Their wealth is very holy, very sacred. If we take the wealth of a Brahman or we take anybody's wealth, we steal it. We may think that I got away, nobody saw. But the consequences can be terrible. It never goes unpunished. In the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Shukdev Goswami says that there are witnesses to every act. Every act of kindness, every act of piety, and every act of sin or impiety. We should always know that we are being watched. There are always witnesses, and these witnesses are mentioned. There is Vayudev in the form of air everywhere. We can never commit sin in a vacuum. Vayudev is there. Within our body there is water. 60 to 65% of our body is made up of water. Varun Dev is there in our body, in the H2O. Our body can never be without H2O. So Varun Dev resides in our body. There is always air in the lungs. Vayu Dev is witness. There is fire of digestion, combustion. Jathar Agni. Agni Dev is there within us, watching. Yamraj says, in the daytime, Surya Dev bears witness. These walls cannot cause any barrier. because sunlight is coming in. That's the energy of Surya Dev. At night, the moon is the witness. The 10 directions are always witness, and the Dikpals. In this way, whatever good or bad action we all commit, there are witnesses at every moment. And then Shri Yamaraj says, and if all these witnesses fail, they never fail. But if they fail, in the heart of everyone, the Supreme Lord Krishna bears witness. Anumantacha drashtacha. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. Matah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vedaischa sarvairaham eva vedyo. Vedanta krit veda videvacha. Krishna is there in everyone's heart as the witness. So therefore we should never steal. We should never take anybody's wealth. Even taking a pen from the office. It's okay. There's so many pens here in the office. Let me take a pen. That is also sin. And we will have to pay for it. So we should be as devotees very honest citizens. Good citizens. Ethical and moral devotees. We should never eye the wealth of others. We should never envy the wealth of others, and we should never take anything that belongs to others. In a ISKCON facility, there should be nothing that gets stolen. This Janmashtami we were celebrating. Shri Radha Madan Mohar were getting their Abhishek on Janmashtami night. We had a nice pandal outside. And so many new families come. One brand new family, I had never seen them in the last 15 years that I have been in ISKCON Atlanta. I'd never seen them. First time I saw them, family, a son, daughter and parents. They did Abhishek, and as they were exiting the pandal, the mother asked me, where is my water bottle? I said, water bottle? How does we have those water bottles? What are they called? Hydro flask? Very common, everybody carries them. Anybody has water bottle here? Stanley, like that. Exactly like that. So the water bottle was there. And she said, where's my water bottle? Because I was assisting, we were a team of devotees assisting everybody in Abhishek. I said, ma'am, I don't know which water bottle. She said, I came with my water bottle. I kept it on the floor so I could do Abhishek. And literally 1 minute I do Abhishek and now the water bottle is gone. Somebody stole it. And I was shocked. On Janmashtami, while Radha Madan Mohan are being bathed in a ISKCON temple, on the stage, live YouTube, how can anyone just in 1 minute steal, of all things, a water bottle? And not that she was a sannyasi or a guru that you want a Mahaprasad. Sometimes Prabhupada's chappals would be stolen. I couldn't believe it, but she said, I kept them right here and the bottle is gone. I said, Mataji, I'm so sorry. Like Niriga Maharaj, I said, I can give you 10 water bottles. Please don't be upset. In a huff, she came down from the pandal and her daughter was waiting. She said, Mom, I got your water bottle. You keep forgetting it, so I picked it up for you. Oh. So my point was that in a ISKCON facility, we are all devotees. There should never be a cyber crime. There should never be a theft of any sorts. We should hold ourselves to very high standards. I had taken my son for a tour in a school. And I think in middle school, kids get locker. At least in Georgia they do. Do you have a locker?
Not right now.
What right now? What grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
10th grade, okay. So in Georgia, when you go to middle school, you get a locker. And this school told me that we have an honor policy. She's homeschooled? Okay. Maybe that's why I don't have a locker. I have a room. So when I went to the school, the principal took us on a tour and very proudly she told us, and rightly so, that we have an honor policy in our school. None of the lockers have a lock. Because we teach our students not to steal. So if a school can do that, we devotees should really hold ourselves to very high standards. We should never take another person's wealth. And I will conclude by telling you a true story from the recent past. Would you like to know?
Yes.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Few months ago, we celebrated the Maha Kumbh Mela. Hare Krishna. It happens once in many years. Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go?
No, I couldn't. I didn't have that good fortune.
Well, you can go to Radha Kund. Haribol.
With your blessings, Prabhu.
Mahakumbh comes there to take bath. Shri Radha Kund ki.
Yeah.
So in the Mahakumbh Mela, you know how many crores of Indians came? I heard almost 40% of India's population visited the Mahakumbh Mela. 60 crores or something like that. So many pilgrims come for the Mahakumbh Mela. And years in advance, you know that this particular year the Mahakumbh Mela is going to come. Right? And people prepare for it. There was a very sincere devotee, yogi, and also a devotee, who was quite elderly. And he came to know that 2 or 3 years from now, it's going to be the Mahakumbh Mela. So he had one last desire in his life. As a sannyasi, as a mendicant, I want to collect some Lakshmi, some money, and go for the Mahakumbh Mela, which is going to happen in 3 years from now. And there, with the money, I want to sponsor prasad for as many thousands and thousands of pilgrims as possible.
Haribol.
Like Gadadhar Prabhu went, and every day he was feeding 10,000, 20,000. ISKCON mega kitchen. So he wanted to go, and in his own way, he wanted to offer prasad to many pilgrims of different lineages who come there. Now, he didn't have a bank account and he didn't have a wallet, but he had a bamboo stick, danda, sannyas danda. With a spear, he made it completely hollow. It was closed from the bottom. He sealed it from the bottom. And wherever he would go, and he would say, Bhiksham Dehi, please give me some alms. People would say, what do you want? So whether they give 5 rupee note, 10 rupee note, or some coins, he would just tell them, just put it in the bamboo. Push it in the bamboo. And this he continued doing for several years. That was his GoFundMe. He was collecting money to go to Kumbh Mela, and then he was going to break that bamboo and give all the money to some grocer and just sponsor prasad for thousands and thousands of pilgrims during the Mahakumbh Mela. That was the last ambition of his life. I want to serve Vaishnavas at an auspicious time, in an auspicious place. So poor fellow was just collecting funds for years. And when the bamboo stick was almost completely filled with all these rupee notes and coins, and it was quite heavy, he was making his way to Prayag, where he was going to sponsor the Bhandara, the feast for so many pilgrims. It was almost time for the Mahakumbh Mela. This was many years ago. And just before he reached Prayag, in a village, wherever it used to be nightfall, he would stay in that village. So he decided to stay in the village. And he would ask some pious grahasthas. There was a very young couple. They were just married and they were just starting their life. And they were living at the outskirts of the village. So he went there, he spoke some Hari Katha, and then they offered, Maharaj, if you want, your elderly Maharaj, if you want, you can spend the night. So he said, that's very kind of you. Okay. But I, as a sannyasi, I cannot enter the house, I will sleep in the courtyard. He said, yeah, that's fine, we'll make arrangements for you. The wife came, she sprinkled some water. In India, they do that to make it nice and cool. The dust settles down. They gave him a chadar to sleep on. And he slept with the bamboo stick right next to him because that was all the money he had collected in the last 3-4 years. The husband happened to ask him, Swamiji, what is that stick? He said, well, it's my sannyas stick, but it's heavy because I have been putting so many coins and notes in it because I'm on my way to the Mahakumbh Mela and I want to sponsor a feast for everyone. Oh, wonderful. Good night. The sannyasi slept, and the husband and wife got wicked thought at night. What is this Babaji going to do with all that money? Anyway, when pilgrims go to Mahakumbh Mela, nobody dies of starvation. There are so many marts, so many organizations who sponsor prasad. What this old man is going to do with his bamboo stick filled with some rupee notes and coins? We are a young couple, we need money. We are just starting out. We could use that money. So at night, the husband sneaked out of the house, went to the sannyasi who was sound asleep, and stole his staff. Stole the bamboo stick with all the money in it. Morning, the sannyasi woke up and he was aghast to see, where is my stick? Oh, I don't know. Maybe someone came at night, some thief must have come at night and taken it. I'm sorry. Too bad it happened to you, Swamiji. You should have slept indoors. Oh my God. Swamiji was very disappointed. But at that age, after having roamed around India so much and been around people so much and with your spiritual strength, you could understand that this man, my host, has stolen all the money. He confronted him. He said, no one will come at night and steal the stick of a sannyasi because no one other than you knew that there is money in it. Please don't do this to me. I'm an old man. I don't have much longer to live. I have been waiting for this big event for years, planning and preparing. Please give me my money. I want to do Vaishnava Seva. Please. What are you talking about? I don't know anything about your stick. Go away. We fed you last night. We allowed you to sleep in our house. It's too much now. You're accusing me. Out. Get out. They kicked him out. He had no proof. There were no CCTV cameras in those days. What could he do, poor fellow? He was very dejected, heartbroken. And he left. After a couple of years, this couple had a child. And the child was divine from birth. He was very interested in Kirtan, very pious. He memorized Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam shlokas as a child. Just a divine child. Parents were not devotees, but their child was devotee. And they were very proud of him. He was very good in studies. He always stood at the top of his class. And he got into a good university. And went there to study medicine. He was in medical college, medical school in India. Parents were so proud of him. But when he was somewhere in the middle of his MBBS, he started getting big lymph nodes in his neck, became pale. So these parents were from a small village. They did some tests, they couldn't find anything. Finally the doctor said, I don't know what's going on. He keeps getting these fevers and is anemic. Let's take him to some big hospital in Delhi. Now these parents, they were young parents. Maybe they were in their 30s. He was their late 30s or 40s. He was their only child. They said, okay, we'll not spare any expense for our only child. We'll take him. So they used all their savings and they took him to Delhi. Nice hospital, and they got him treated. He was diagnosed with lymphoma. And in those days, chemotherapy was very, very new. It was still experimental. This is when many decades ago. And it was very expensive. It had to be imported. India didn't manufacture those drugs in those days. But they said, no problem. He's our only child, we'll do anything to save him. They spent all their money on the chemotherapy. But chemotherapy wasn't like it is today. It was not that effective. It worked for some time, they stopped working, again the lymph nodes came, again he became sick. He had to discontinue his college, he had to come home for treatment, stay at home. The treatment went on and on for a few years, and finally, these parents had to spend every farthing that they had. Their last penny they had to spend. They even had to sell their house. Because the doctors would always give hope. Well, this is a new treatment, you try it, maybe it works. That we need to do this, he's got this infection now from the chemotherapy. We have to give him antibiotics, expensive antibiotics, There's no insurance in those days, health insurance. Parents had to pay everything out of pocket. They spent everything they had. They sold their jewelry, everything. They went completely bankrupt. And then finally the doctors said there's nothing that can be done. All treatment options are exhausted. We recommend hospice. So they brought him home to die. And the son said, my dear parents, I'm so sorry I ruined your life. No child. It's okay, it's not your fault. I'm going to die. My last desire is that I want to die at the confluence of the holy rivers, Ganga, Jamuna and Saraswati, Triveni. Please take me to Prayag. I want to die there. But they did not live too far from there. So the parents, with the last few pennies that they had, they rented a dharmashala and they were staying there with their son. And every day he would go take his bath in the Ganga and Yamuna and everything. And then one day he was on his deathbed in the lap of his mother on the banks of Ganga. Father was fanning him, his head was in the lap of his mother, and he was hardly 21, 22 years old. And as he was dying, as his last breath left his body, he looked at his parents and told them, do you remember me? Was it worth stealing my money that night? Now I am going back to Godhead. But Krishna sent me just to recover all the money. And when you die, your punishment will begin. This was not punishment. To have a sick child like me, for whom you had to give up your job and spend all your money and take him from doctor to doctor, hospital to hospital. That was not the punishment, my dear parents. Your punishment will start after death. Yamraj will punish you for what you have done. I just came to recover the money. You lost all the money. And I am going back to Godhead. Dying on the bank of Ganga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And he died. So we should be very careful, my dear friends. Shri Ishopanishad tells us, Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchan jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha magrida kasya sviddhanam. Bhakti Shastri students. Hare Krishna. So we should remember that Krishna has allotted a quota for everyone. We should be satisfied with that. We should work honestly. We should work hard, honestly. And by honest hard work, whatever we get, we should take it as our prarabdha, as our destiny, as Krishna given quota, and be satisfied with that. We should not eye the property of others. I remember growing up in India, we used to have a black and white TV in the 1980s. And then I think in the late 1980s came Onida TV. And the advertisement was, owner's pride, neighbor's envy. Onida. This is Kali Yuga mentality. Owner is proud, pride cometh before the fall. Owner is proud and the neighbors are envious. He's got a color TV, we have a black and white TV. That is Kali Yuga mentality. As devotees, we don't follow that. We follow the mentality of na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatam bhaktir ahetuki. My dear Lord, I don't want wealth, I don't want followers, Facebook likes, comments, subscribers. I don't want to be known as a very learned Kavi scholar, nor do I want to enjoy sexual gratification. Sundari. Nor do I want freedom from repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. Mama Janmani Janmani Ishwar. Hey Ishwar, hey Krishna, Ishwara Parama Krishna. All I want is Mama Janmani Janmani Ishwara Bhavatat Bhakti Ahaitu Kitvai. I want pure bhakti, pure devotion towards you, my sweet Lord. Devotion that has no expectations from you. I just want to love you, my sweet Lord. I just want to serve you, and I don't want anything in return. This is our prayer. If we pray like this, then Krishna will appear in our heart. That will be our Janmashtami. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Are there any corrections, questions, or comments, reflections? Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Except my tongue will pronounce. Prabhuji, maybe the past time that you narrated about King Nriga and the whole confusion between the two Brahmanas. I mean, it was not a sin on the part of King Nriga. It was just a confusion. So how, I mean, what could he have possibly done to avoid this
Bhakti.
avoid getting this body of a
Bhakti.
lizard?
Bhakti.
Oh, okay.
Our Acharya's comment, the problem with Nriga was he had piety, he had no bhakti. Therefore, this story, excellent question, Mataji. This story teaches us the fallacy of practicing the path of Karma Kanda. Maharaj Nriga was a very pious king, but he was not a devotee. If we do Karma Kanda, where we do charity, we speak the truth, we live very clean lifestyle, thinking that this will elevate us to heaven. Yes, but it's a slippery slope. On the way to heaven, there is many a slip between the spoon and the lip, as they say. So there is no guarantee. Whereas in bhakti there is guarantee. Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Karmani nirdahati. Dahati means to just burn it down to ashes. When we do bhakti, all the good and bad karma gets erased. Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham tam bhajami. Never Krishna says, kaunteya pratijanihi name karmi pranashyati. Name yogi pranashyati. Name dhyani pranashyati. Name jnani pranashyati. No. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Krishna takes guarantee for his devotee. Because bhakti atushyati kevalam nacha gunai bhakti priyo madhava. Only by bhakti Krishna is conquered. Aham bhakta paradhino hi aswatantra ivadvija sadhubir grasta hridayo bhakta er bhakta janapriya. Therefore, without bhakti, karma kand is dangerous. Without bhakti, dhyana kand is dangerous. Without bhakti, dhyana kand is dangerous.
But he did get Krishna at the end.
Because of Krishna bhakti janma mula haya sadhu sangha. Krishna prema janmete ho puna mukhya anga. He got to do service to that Vaishnava who wanted to build TOVP. And then he got the association of Krishna's sons who are pure devotees like Sam and Pradyumna. Of course, they are Vishnu Murtis. And then he got Krishna's association. So if we have devotion in our life, if we have the association of devotees, we have nothing to fear. Name bhakta pranashyati. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. There will be sins. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masu. That is Krishna's guarantee. But for that we have to surrender to Krishna. Hari Bol. In Vrindavan, you know what? You speak Hindi?
I speak Hindi, English, Gujarati.
In Vrindavan the Siddhanta is Kaho kebal bhajan ko, Kahu ke achar, Vyas bharose kuwari ko, Sovar pav pasar. That is the Siddhanta of Vrindavan.
What is the meaning, Prabhuji?
Kahu kebal bhajan ko. Some people are having their faith in their bhajan. I have chanted. I have done this mantra. I have done Satyanarayan Puja, so I am well situated. They are depending on their bhajan, their spiritual practices to save them. Kaho keval bhajano. They think my spiritual practices are my strength. Kaho keval achar. And some people, they think that my strength, my security is my good behavior. I have never broken the 4 regulative principles. So many temptations came. Janmashtami, there was celebration in the office and there was cake and everything. I did not eat. This will save me. The Vrindavan Siddhanta is no. Kahu keval bhajan ko, kahu ke achar. Vyas bharoso kuwari ko, sovat pav pasad. My faith is in Srimati Radharani Brishavanu Nandini. And because my faith is in Srimati Radharani, I spread my legs and I go to sleep. Without any tension, without any anxiety. Sovat pav pasad. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Yeah, we'll have some more kirtan. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Hari Bol.
Wonderful.
Would you like to lead? Goran, can you get the mic stand up?
Amazing story. I never heard this story. Wow. Sadhu came back, huh? Yes, sir.
Shastra says sometimes your karma can come in the form of family members.
Hare
Krishna